At exactly 11:58 p.m., my phone rang. The caller ID displayed my own number. For several seconds, I simply stared at the screen. I checked it twice, then 3 times. There was no mistake. It was my number. My exact number. My hands suddenly felt cold. The phone continued vibrating. Ring, ring, ring. Finally, I answered. Hello. Heavy breathing filled the line. Fast, panicked, terrified. Then a voice spoke. My voice. Exactly my voice. Not similar. Not close. Mine. Listen carefully. Every muscle in my body froze. The voice sounded exhausted, as if it hadn't slept in years. You don't have much time. What is this? The voice ignored the question. At exactly midnight someone is going to knock on your door. A chill crawled down my spine. Who is this? The voice inhaled sharply. Then whispered, I'm you. Silence. I laughed nervously. A weak laugh. The kind people make when they're scared. This isn't funny. The voice started crying. Actually crying. I know you don't believe me. I didn't believe me either. The words made no sense. Then the voice said something impossible. You're sitting on the couch. I froze. The voice continued. You have a half-empty bottle of water on the coffee table. My eyes moved toward the bottle. The voice continued. Your television is muted. My heartbeat accelerated. You left the kitchen light on. Every word was correct. Every single one. The voice whispered. Because I'm you. The call disconnected. Immediately, I stared at the screen. The room felt different. Smaller somehow. Heavier. Then came the knock. Thud. My heart nearly stopped. Exactly midnight. Another knock followed. Thud. Thud. Slow. Patient. Almost polite. I approached the door. Carefully. Quietly. Then looked through the peephole. Nothing. The hallway was empty. No visitors. No movement. No sound. Just darkness. I stepped back. Another knock echoed. Thud. 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 This time louder. Then my phone rang again. My number. Again. I answered immediately. The voice sounded horrified. You looked through the peephole. My stomach dropped. How do you know that? Silence. Then. Because I did too. The caller inhaled shakily. That's how it begins. My pulse raced. What begins? The voice lowered. He saw you. The apartment suddenly became cold. Freezing cold. My breath appeared in the air. The caller whispered. Whatever happens, do not look outside again. The call disconnected. The lights immediately went out. Darkness swallowed the apartment. Every room, every corner, every shadow, gone. Only darkness remained. Then something moved. A sound. Slow footsteps. Inside the apartment. Not outside. Inside. Step. 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 The footsteps emerged from the hallway leading toward my bedroom. I stood frozen. Unable to move. Unable to breathe. The footsteps continued. Closer. Step. 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 Closer. Then they stopped. Silence returned. I reached for my phone flashlight. The screen refused to turn on. Dead. Completely dead. Even though it had been fully charged minutes earlier. Then a voice whispered. Not from the phone. Not from outside. From somewhere inside the apartment. Hello. The voice sounded exactly like mine. I stumbled backward. My legs hit the couch. I nearly fell. The voice laughed softly. The laughter sounded wrong. Distorted. Like someone imitating a human being. The lights suddenly returned. Everything looked normal. The apartment was empty. The hallway stood vacant. No footsteps. No intruder. Nothing. I convinced myself I was imagining things. Stress. Lack of sleep. Anything. Then I noticed the wall. Someone had written something. Fresh black letters. 3 simple words. He found you. My stomach twisted. The message hadn't been there before. I knew it. The phone rang again. My number. Again. I answered immediately. The future version of me sounded exhausted. Defeated. I was hoping you'd leave. What is happening? The caller remained silent for several seconds. Then finally answered. 7 years ago I got this exact call. My entire body went still. You mean tonight? Yes. And now I'm calling you. The caller laughed bitterly. I spent 7 years trying to stop this. The apartment lights flickered. Once. Twice. 3 times. The caller continued. It always ends the same way. What does? The caller inhaled sharply, then whispered. Him. The temperature dropped again. The windows began rattling. Something tapped against the glass. Tap, tap, tap. I slowly turned toward the living room window. A face stared back at me. Not outside, pressed directly against the glass. A pale face, wide eyes, an impossibly large smile. I screamed. The face vanished instantly. The caller began crying. You saw him. The words came out like a death sentence. The apartment door exploded inward. Boom. Wood shattered. Metal twisted. The entire frame collapsed. I jumped backward. The hallway beyond stood empty. Yet something felt wrong. Very wrong. The darkness inside the hallway looked deeper somehow. Darker than normal darkness, as though the shadows themselves were alive. Then something stepped into the apartment. At first I only saw its legs. Long. Unnaturally long. Then its arms. Longer still. Dragging across the floor. Then its face. Or what should have been a face. My heart stopped. The creature had my face. Exactly my face. But stretched. Distorted. Wrong. Its smile extended almost from ear to ear. Its eyes looked empty. Dead. The creature tilted its head. Studying me. Then it spoke. In my voice. Found you. The future version of me screamed through the phone. Run. I ran. Faster than I had ever run in my life. The creature followed. Not walking. Not running. Appearing. Every time I looked back it stood closer. 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 Impossible distances vanished instantly. I reached the stairwell, burst through the door, and sprinted downward. Floor after floor. The creature remained behind me. Always visible. Always smiling. Always coming closer. Then something impossible happened. The stairwell ended. I reached the bottom, opened the exit door, and stepped directly back into my apartment. My blood froze. The same couch. The same television. The same broken front door. The same room. The future version of me started sobbing. It trapped you. The creature stepped into the room. Smiling wider than ever. The future me whispered. I'm sorry. What? The caller took a shaky breath. Then answered. You're not the first version. Silence. My heart stopped. What? The caller sounded broken. There have been hundreds of us. The creature took another step forward. The thing doesn't kill us. Another step. It replaces us. Another step. Then the horrifying truth emerged. Every future voicemail. Every future call. Every future version. They weren't from different timelines. They were from different victims. Different copies. Different versions of me. The creature smiled. And for the first time, I understood. The thing wasn't following me. The thing was becoming me. The phone slipped from my hand. The future version whispered one final sentence. The same sentence every version had spoken before disappearing. If you're hearing this, it's already too late. The call ended. The creature stood directly in front of me. Smiling. Waiting. Then it reached toward my face. And the last thing I saw was my own reflection. Smiling back at me.